Welcome to the training for the HVS 25 Robin Air 17800C refrigerant recovery system. This will cover the following topics of this syllabus for the equipment. During this session, participants will learn the below points and manufacturer information. First will be the safety requirements. Students will be expected to know how to operate the equipment as directed after this training. The training will also contain pre-inspection, operation, system troubleshooting, corrective and preventative maintenance. This training is provided by RailQuip and created by Robert Lawrence. Review the manual prior to any operation for your safety and the safety of the equipment. Let us start with the safety requirements. The following terms we'll be seeing in the manual and on the equipment as decals. Here are their meanings. Danger indicates an imminently hazardous situation, which, if not avoided, will result in death or serious injury. Warning indicates a potentially hazardous situation, which, if not avoided, could result in death or serious injury. Caution indicates a potentially hazardous situation, which, if not avoided, could result in minor or moderate injury. Please take note of the safety decals used on the machine and their meanings. Allow only qualified personnel to operate the machine. Use the machine as outlined in this manual. Pressurized tank contains liquid refrigerant. Do not overfill the external storage vessel. Tank. Overfilling can cause explosion resulting in personal injury or death. Hoses can contain liquid refrigerant under pressure. Contact with refrigerant can cause personal injury, including blindness and frozen skin. Wear protective equipment, including goggles and gloves. Avoid breathing a sea refrigerant and lubricant vapor or mist. Exposure can irritate eyes, nose, and throat. To remove refrigerant from the AC system, use only equipment certified for the type of refrigerant being removed. To reduce the risk of fire, do not use the machine in the vicinity of spilled or open containers of gasoline or other flammable substances. To reduce the risk of fire, do not use an extension cord. To reduce the risk of fire, do not use the machine in environments containing explosive gases or vapors. To reduce the risk of fire, do not use this machine in ATEX classified zones or areas. Caution, do not pressure test or leak test equipment and/or air conditioning systems with compressed air. High voltage electricity inside the machine has a risk of electrical shock. Do not modify the pressure relief valve or change the control system settings. Using the machine in a manner for which it was not designed will compromise the machine and nullify the protections provided. To prevent cross-contamination, use this machine only with R407. C. Do not use this machine in direct sunlight. Do not use this machine outdoors during rain or high humidity. Do not use this machine in areas where there is a risk of explosion. Set up the machine on an even surface and under sufficient lighting. Lock the front wheels and do not subject the machine to vibration. To avoid chemical incompatibilities with the internal components of the machine, use only oils approved by the system manufacturer. Refrigerant tank test. Official records and recurring tests necessary for pressurized instruments are governed by laws and/or national regulations dependent upon the country where the refrigerant tank is used. The system manager is responsible for compliance with laws, regulations, and technical rules. During normal service, refrigerant tanks do not need maintenance. Refer to the maintenance section of this manual for more information. Lubricant requirements. Only new lubricant, as specified by the system manufacturer, shall be installed in the AC system. Lubricant removed from the system and/or the equipment shall be disposed of in accordance with applicable federal, state, and local procedures and regulations. Please note the technical specifications. See the feature callouts in the diagram for where main components are shown. The control panel is shown here with directional buttons, number pad, and selector buttons for controlling the equipment. Also, take note here of the icons that you will see and their meanings. All of these can be found in the user manual as well. Here we will see the setup menu functions for your equipment. You will be able to navigate multiple functions such as adjusting the zero, performing a purge, filter maintenance, edit units, date and time, and calibration checks. Please review the functions listed here and see the manual as needed for maintenance and repair functions. Once the functions are reviewed here and/or in the manual, you should unpack the accessory kit. From here, the initial setup may begin. The service hoses will need to be connected. Connect the non-ball valve ends of service hoses to the proper bulkhead connections on the unit. Tank install. A 50-pound DOT-4B, a 400 tank with an air purge port must be installed for this unit to function. Using a different tank can result in degraded system function. Using a smaller tank can result in accidental tank overfill and potential injury. Discard the plastic surrounding the tank included with this unit and install by completing the following procedure. 1. Open the vapor valve on the tank to purge the 5 to 10 psi of nitrogen that ships with the tank to prevent contamination. Vent the nitrogen to the atmosphere. 2. Place the tank on the scale in the orientation shown in Figure 1. Tighten the thumb screw on the scale. 3. Loop the tank retention strap through the tank handle and secure the clip back to the strap ring. See Figure 1. 4. Connect the quick seal ends of the hoses to appropriate ports on the tank. Red hose, vapor port on tank. Blue hose, liquid port on the tank. Yellow hose, air purge port on the tank. 5. Connect the non-quick seal ends of the hoses to the appropriate ports on the unit. See Figure 2. Note: incorrect installation of the hoses may result in degraded machine function. Verify tank connections as hose and valve color may or may not match. 6. Open the tank valves after connecting the hoses. 7. Remove the temperature probe assembly and strap from its packaging and install on the tank. The unit will not function properly without the tank temperature probe. See Figure 1 for the correct probe position. Place the tank temperature probe assembly in contact with the tank slightly above the midline tank weld. Metal-to-metal contact between the probe and tank is required for accurate tank temperature measurements. Secure the probe assembly to the tank with the probe strap included. Note: do not allow the power cord, service hoses, or any other component to come into contact with the tank during operation. Power up the machine. 1. Install the power cord into the receptacle on the unit. 2. Plug the power cord into a grounded outlet of the correct voltage. 3rd, position the machine so the plug and the power switch are of easy access for the operator. Verify the fan vents on the rear of the machine are not obstructed. 4. Lock the front wheels. 5. Toggle the power switch on the control panel to turn the machine on. The machine launches into the initial setup mode. Select language. The operator selects the language for the screen prompt displays. English is the default language. 1. Use the UP or down arrow key to toggle through the available languages one line at a time. 2nd, select to set the selected language. Note: to update an existing language or to add a new language, refer to Load Language in the Maintenance section of this manual. Approve Licensing Agreement. Review the licensing agreement at the end of this manual and select to agree. Select Units. The operator sets the display for units of measure. Metric is the default. 1. Use the UP or down arrow key to toggle imperial or metric units. 2. Select to choose the displayed unit of measure. Set date and time. Use the arrow keys to move the cursor. Use the keypad to modify the information displayed. 1. Use the UP or down arrow key to select which item to change. Day, month, year, or time. Select to toggle between AM and PM. 2. Use the multi-tap interface on the numeric keypad to modify the information. 3. Select to save. Edit print header. This function allows the user to customize the print header if optional printer is installed. The information loaded into Edit Print Header will appear on each printout. 1. Enter text by using the arrows in the multi-tap interface on the numeric keypad. Arrow left and key act as backspace key. Arrow right moves the cursor to the right. 0 acts as a spacebar when pressed twice. Arrow up and down navigate between the rows. 2. Select to check, save, exit the function. Select X to return to the previous header without saving data. Service vacuum. At this point, the machine clears its internal plumbing before proceeding with setup. 1. Check the vacuum pump oil level sight glass and verify the oil level is at the center of the sight glass. 2. Verify that tank hoses are connected, tank valves are open, panels valves are open, service hose valves are closed. 3. Select double arrow to continue. The machine enters a 5-minute vacuum and will automatically enter the next setup process when complete. Select refrigerant. The 17,800 degrees Celsius is capable of recovery and recharging various refrigerants. From the Select Refrigerant screen, 1. Use the UP or down arrow key to highlight the desired refrigerant. 2. Select Check to choose the highlighted refrigerant. The machine displays refrigerant type is now R-XXXX3. Select Check to continue to tank fill. Tank fill is to be performed by a licensed person, and they will consult the manual to complete this. Whenever the handling of refrigerant is required, a licensed person will be needed to complete tasks. Unit activation failure to register and activate the machine within 30 days of initial startup will cause the machine to lock out and no longer function. 1. Select unit activation from the Setup menu. The machine displays 20 days left on trial period to activate unit. Activate now. 2. Select to start the activation process. The machine displays product activation personal product code, XX enter code, XX3. Open a web browser on a personal computer and enter https://register.servicesolutionsportal.com. 4. Enter the username and password and log into the website. Note, if a first-time user, select Register to create a username and password. 5. On the PC, enter the personal product code of the machine into the product activation key box on the website to receive an activation code. 6. On the machine, enter the activation code into the correct field. Note, enter the code exactly as received. Capitalization is required. 7. Record the activation code on a piece of paper and file it in a secure place. Select Dot 8. The machine displays Activation successful. Select Dot. The machine has been activated. Select refrigerant. Select the refrigerant to add if different than the refrigerant currently selected. If a refrigerant other than the refrigerant currently in use is selected, the user will be prompted to clear the unit and change tanks. Enter service data. After selecting any service function, information about the AC system may be entered into and stored in the machine's database. The machine displays Enter Service Data, New One. Select to enter a new record, or scroll to select a previously serviced AC system and then select. The highlighted selection will be in red. 2. Follow on-screen prompt to enter service data. 3. Use the arrow keys to move between rows and the multi-tap keypad to enter text. Information entered on this screen is stored by date and identification number, or vehicle identification number VIN. The database stores the latest 25 entries, with the most recent at the top of the list. The information will also appear on service summary printouts. An optional printer is available for this unit. The printer enables printing of service and summary data at the end of each function. Operation Recover Refrigerant from AC System 1. Empty the oil drain bottle before starting a recovery. Remove the oil drain bottle by unscrewing it from the unit. Reinstall the oil drain bottle. Refer to Figure 4. Note, use caution when removing not installing oil drain bottle. Excessive force may damage internal load cell. 2. Connect the high side red and low side blue service hoses to the AC system. 3. Open the front panel valves and the service hose valves. 4. Select Recover from the main menu. 5. The machine will enter the service data entry form, enter all applicable data, and select to continue. Follow on-screen prompts and system service manual specifications to continue. The machine begins the recovery process. A clicking noise indicates the solenoid is opening and closing. This is normal. The machine runs a self-clearing cycle to clear any internal refrigerant from its internal plumbing. System recovery begins and includes a time vacuum, deep recovery process. After recovery, the machine will perform an oil drain, which may require several minutes to complete. 6. After the oil drain is complete, a summary is displayed showing the total amount of refrigerant and oil recovered. Recovery information can be printed by selecting if the optional printer is installed. Select to return to the main menu. 7. Close the front panel valves and service hose valves before disconnecting from the system. Notes: the displayed recovered weight can vary depending on ambient conditions and should not be used as an indicator of scale accuracy. Depending on the capacity of the system, the recovery process may be interrupted if the oil separator is full and needs to be emptied, or if the refrigerant tank is filled and needs to be replaced. Follow the on-screen prompts to drain the oil or change tanks. The recovery process will resume upon completion. Evacuate the AC system 1. Connect the service hoses to the system's service ports. 2. Open the front panel valves in the service hose valves. 3. Select vacuum from the main menu. 4. The user will be prompted to enter service data. Once complete, select to continue. Select vacuum leak check, if desired, to automatically perform a 5-minute pressurized leak check after the vacuum. Select to accept the 30-minute default evacuation time or enter a desired vacuum time using the number keys. Note: the vacuum process will halt if pressure rises above 0.30 bar or 4.35 psi. Recover refrigerant before proceeding. The machine pulls a vacuum on the AC system for the programmed amount of time. Vacuum information can be printed by selecting on machines equipped with a printer. 7. Select to return to the main menu. 8. Close the front panel valves and service hose valves before disconnecting from the system. Air purge verify that the tank temperature probe is securely strapped to the tank, the yellow hose is connected, and the correct refrigerant type is in the tank and has been selected. Note: the tank pressure is the actual pressure measured in the tank. The saturated vapor pressure is the calculated pressure based on the tank temperature. Note: there will be some refrigerant lost in this process. 1. From the standby screen, select Purge. Screen displays tank weight, tank pressure, tank temperature, calculated saturated pressure, and refrigerant type. Note: verify that the type of refrigerant in the tank is the same as the refrigerant selected on the screen. 2. Compare the displayed tank pressure to the displayed saturated pressure. 3. Press and hold the purge button to vent any non-condensable gases in the external tank, if desired. A tank pressure higher than the calculated saturation pressure may indicate the presence of non-condensable gases in the tank. Note: if there is a large difference in pressures, re-verify the tank temperature probe, yellow hose connections, and refrigerant type. Caution: do not purge for more than 30 seconds at a time. Stop and allow readings to stabilize before continuing. Recharge the AC system 1. Connect both service hoses to the system's service ports. 2. Select charge from the main menu. 3. The user will be prompted to enter service data. Select once complete to continue. The display shows charge 20.33 kilograms, min charge quantity 10 grams 4. Use the arrow keys in the numeric keypad to enter the desired charge amount. Select to change units. 5. Open the front panel valve X and the hose valves for the desired charge path. 6. Select to start the charge process. Moving or bumping the machine at this point may result in an inaccurate charge. When the charge cycle gets close to the desired weight value, the machine slows down. It will charge, settle, charge again, settle, etc. When the charge is complete, the user has the option to add additional refrigerant or complete the charge. The charge icon allows the user to program additional refrigerant. After any selection, except exit, returns to the screen for additional charge. Once the correct amount has been charged, exits to hose equalization to complete the process. 7. For increased charge accuracy, follow the on-screen prompts to close the high side, service hose ball valve, and disconnect from the system. With the low side service hose connected and the low side service hose ball valve and both front panel valves open, start the system on maximum AC and select. Remaining liquid refrigerant in the hoses will be transferred into the system. 8. Shut off the system when prompted and close the low side, service hose valve, and disconnect from the system. Select to recover the remaining vapor from the hoses. 9. When the charge complete screen appears, it includes a summary of charge results. Select to print the summary if optional printer is installed. Select to return to the main menu. Maintenance. See the tasks related to the maintenance schedule. Change filter, depends on the selected refrigerant. R704. C. Change vacuum pump oil, along with the filter change. Check casters and wheels monthly. Check scale calibration. Monthly check machine for leaks. Clean airflow outlet panel. Clean cabinet and control panel. Monthly DOT tank inspection. Verified DOT tank inspection. Daily, inspect power core and hoses for defects. Pressure test. Every 10 years by authorized Robin Air Service Center. Select refrigerant. The 17,800 degrees Celsius is capable of recovering and recharging various refrigerants. When changing refrigerant types, the unit must be cleared into the existing tank mounted on the scale. To change refrigerant type 1, from the main menu press, then R-? 2. Use the UP or down arrow keys to highlight Select Refrigerant. Select. 3. The current refrigerant is highlighted. To select a new refrigerant, use the up or down arrow keys to highlight new refrigerant. Select. 4. If the unit has not been cleared, the user will be prompted to close the liquid valve on the refrigerant tank on the unit and open the front panel valves. Select Continue to begin clearing refrigerant into the tank. Note, the tank vapor valve with the red hose connected must be open. The unit will clear all refrigerant into the tank. When complete, the user will be prompted to close the vapor valve, disconnect the yellow hose from the tank, and remove the temperature probe. Note, do not remove the tank at this point. Select Continue to remove any remaining vapor. 6. The user will be prompted to replace the refrigerant tank on the rear of the unit with one designated for the newly selected refrigerant, connect the tank hoses, open the tank valves, and reinstall temperature probe. See Figure 7. Load language. Use the following instructions to add or update a language from an SD card. 1. Turn the machine off. Remove the door access screws from the right side of the unit and open the door. 2. Remove the top panel retention screws and rotate the top panel about its hinge to access the SD card slot on the control panel. See Figure 8. 3. Insert the SD card containing the language data into the port on the control board. Rotate the top panel back to its original closed position. 4. Turn the machine power on. Choose Select Language from the Setup menu. 5. Use the arrow keys to scroll to load new. Select. 6. Follow the prompts to select the language to load or update. If loading a new language, it will be necessary to select which language to replace. 7. Once the process is complete, turn the machine power off and remove the SD card. Reinstall the top panel retention screws and the door access screws. Edit Print Header, select Edit Print Header from the Setup menu. Arrow left and left arrow with X act as a backspace key. Arrow right moves the cursor to the right. 0, 0 key acts as a spacebar. Arrow up and down navigate between the rows. 2. Select to save the changes and return to the Setup menu. Select to X, return to the previous header, and exit to the Setup menu. Replace printer paper if optional printer is installed. To install a new paper roll in the printer. 1. Remove the cover on the printer by pulling out on the tab as shown in Figure 9. 2. Remove the paper core. 3. Install the new roll of paper with the end of the paper at the top of the roll. 4. Assemble the cover onto the printer with the leading edge of the paper over the roller. Filter maintenance. The filter is designed to trap acid and particulates and to remove moisture from refrigerant. To meet the mandate for adequate moisture and contaminant removal, the filter must be replaced after 136.1 kilograms, 300 pounds, of refrigerant has been filtered. The machine gives a warning when 97.1 kilograms, 214.2 pounds, of the filter capacity has been used. Check remaining filter capacity 1. Select Filter Maintenance from the Setup menu or when the machine prompts. The machine displays remaining filter capacity, 3.00 kilograms. Replace filter now. The machine displays the amount of filter capacity remaining. 2. Select Check to change the filter. Select to X resume using the machine. Replace the filter 1. Select Filter Maintenance from the Setup menu. The machine displays remaining filter capacity, XXX.X 0 kilograms. Replace filter now. 2nd, select to change the filter. The machine clears the existing filter and displays. Turn power off and replace filter. Turn off the machine. Remove the 2 door screws and open the door. See Figure 10. 3. Disconnect the hose from the top of the filter dryer and unscrew the filter dryer by rotating it counterclockwise. A 5/8-inch wrench may be needed. 4. Open the new filter dryer and generously lubricate the O-ring with POE oil as well as the gasket in the end of the hose that connects to the top of the filter dryer. 5. Replace the O-ring into the groove in the manifold. 6. Screw the new filter dryer into place. The flow arrow on the filter must point down. 7. Reattach the hose with the gasket to the top of the filter dryer. 8. Power the machine on. The change vacuum pump oil operation will begin, and the screen will display warming oil for drain XXXX. See the change vacuum pump oil section of this manual for more information. The machine will then begin the leak check operation. See the leak check section of this manual for more information. Calibration check. Select calibration check from the setup menu. Place calibration weight on the top of the tank. Place the calibration weight on the tank near the valves. Select check to continue. Remove the calibration weight from the tank. Select check to continue. If the machine displays calibration check passed, the scale is in calibration. Select double arrow to return to the setup menu. If the display's calibration check failed, retry, the scale is out of calibration. To retry, select 2 cycling arrows. If the calibration continues to fail, contact an authorized Robinair Service Center for assistance. Change vacuum pump oil. Select pump maintenance from the setup menu or when prompted. Oil life remaining will display. Change oil now? Select check. Warming oil for drain. Allow the vacuum pump to run for 2 minutes to warm up the oil for more effective drainage. Remove the door access screws from the right side of the unit and open the door. Slowly open the oil fill cap to verify there is no pressure in the machine. Then carefully remove the cap. See Figure 11. Remove the oil drain fitting cap and drain the oil into a suitable container for disposal. Dispose of the oil according to applicable regulations. Replace the drain fitting and close tightly. Add 225 milliliters of new vacuum pump oil and select to continue. Fill vacuum pump to the center of the sight glass. Reinstall fill cap. Slowly add vacuum pump oil to the pump through the oil. Fill port until the oil reaches the center of the sight glass. Install the cap on the oil fill port and close tightly. Select double arrow to return to the setup menu. Empty vacuum pump exhaust bottle. A vacuum pump exhaust bottle is included with this unit, as shown in Figure 12, to capture any oil that may be expelled from the pump. Unscrew the bottle to remove it from the unit. Dispose of the oil according to local, state, and federal regulations. Check the vacuum pump sight glass to confirm that the oil level is sufficient. Refer to the Change Vacuum Pump Oil section of the manual for instruction to change or add vacuum pump oil. Reinstall the empty vacuum pump exhaust bottle. Tank removal. To protect the scale from damage, the tank must be removed from the unit anytime the unit is transported. Close the liquid and vapor valves on the tank and disconnect the tank hoses from the tank. Unfasten the probe strap and remove the temperature probe assembly from the tank. Secure the temperature probe during transport. Untether the tank by releasing the tank strap clip and pulling the strap through the tank handle. Loosen the thumb screw on the scale and remove the tank by lifting up. See tank installation on previous pages. Leak check. A leak test may be performed on the machine at any time. Select leak check from the setup menu. Close the ball valves on both service hoses and open both panel valves. Select check to start. The machine performs a self-recovery and displays. The machine performs a 30-second vacuum test and displays. If the vacuum test fails, the machine will prompt to check for leaks. Pressure is held for 5 minutes and monitored for decay. If an acceptable pressure decay is detected, the machine recovers refrigerant and returns to the setup menu, ready for normal operation. If an unacceptable pressure decay is detected, the machine will prompt to check for leaks. Contact an authorized Robinair Service Center for repair. See the table for components and part numbers for any replacement parts that will be needed. A troubleshooting guide is also available for the equipment. The display will indicate an issue, and the cause and related solution will be found in this table. See manual for complete table. Storage. Never leave the machine live if an immediate use is not scheduled. Disconnect the machine from its power supply. Coil service hoses and store on the hooks on either side of the unit. See Figure 13. Store the machine in a dry, stable area, away from flames and hot surfaces. The temperature of the storage area should range between -18 degrees Celsius and 60 degrees Celsius, 0 degrees Fahrenheit and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Lock the front wheels. This will conclude the training session that will cover the manual for the Robin Air 17800C. If a qualified person is on site, this will now transition to the life demo of an operation cycle. If a licensed person is needed to operate the machine, they will be performing the live demonstration. Thank you for your time and please operate the equipment safely.